Long before stone temples and written prayers, people gathered beneath oak trees and believed the gods were listening. This is the story of the oak. Welcome to Otherworldly Lore. Here, we gently turn the pages of the arcane, occult, paranormal, and mythic. This is a place for restless spirits and ancient rites, for hearthside wisdom and hedge magic, the kind of lore that's been waiting to be rediscovered. So whether you're drawn to myth or mystery, to folklore or the faint sound of footsteps in an empty hallway, there's room for you here. Long before cathedrals rose from stone, temples grew from the earth itself. In the ancient world, most of the most powerful of those temples were oak groves. Massive, slow-growing, and unpredictable in their longevity, oak trees came to embody divinity across cultures that had not yet built permanent monuments. Where an oak stood, something greater was believed to listen. Oak trees belong to the genus Quercus, part of the same family as beech trees, and fossils suggest they have existed for as long as 55 million years. They grow slowly, especially in their early years, but they endure. Today, there are around 500 species of oak, both deciduous and evergreen, spread widely across the northern hemisphere. Oaks live in deep partnership with their environment, forming associations with countless species of fungi, including truffles. Oaks grow from acorns, small seeds that hold the potential for enormous strength. Throughout Europe, the oak was held in the highest regard. Among the Greeks, Romans, Celts, Slavs, and Teutonic tribes, it was considered associated with the supreme god of the pantheon. The oak belonged to Zeus, Jupiter, Dagda, Perun, and Thor, all gods who ruled over thunder, rain, and lightning. This connection was not imagined at random. Oaks are reportedly more likely to be struck by lightning than any other tree, largely because they are often the tallest living beings in the landscape and have a high water content. To ancient people, lightning striking an oak tree was not a coincidence. It was intentional communication. In Greek tradition, oak was sacred to Zeus, and the oldest Hellenic oracle stood beneath an oak tree at Dodona and Epirus. Priests gathered under its branches to offer counsel and divine guidance, believing Zeus spoke through the rustling of the leaves. Romans carried this belief forward, seeing the oak as a symbol of Jupiter and believing wisdom passed from the god through the tree itself. To destroy such a tree was unthinkable. The Greeks believed hamadryads lived within certain trees, bound to them for life. If the tree died, so did the spirit. For this reason, harming an oak was not merely destruction of wood, but an act of violence against a living being. Mortals who harmed sacred oaks were said to be punished by the gods, for these trees were believed to house living spirits. Among the Celts, oak represented wisdom, endurance, and protection. Druids frequently worshipped in oak groves, and the Gaelic word for oak, dara, may be the root of the word druid itself. Mistletoe, one of the most potent and magical plants in Druidic tradition, was often found growing on oak trees, further strengthening the tree's sacred status. In Slavic belief, gods were thought to live within oaks, and entire oak forests were treated as holy ground. Baltic traditions associate oak with the thunder god, who directed lightning towards evil spirits, reinforcing the oak's role as both weapon and shield. Beyond myth, oak earned its reverence through use. Oak timber is strong, hard, and long-lasting, qualities that made it invaluable for construction and furniture. In Britain, it formed the backbone of Tudor timbered houses, while artists prized its even grain and warm color for carving and turning. Oak bark, rich in tannins, was central to the leather tanning industry. During the Industrial Revolution, vast quantities were shipped from northwest Scotland to Glasgow for processing. Oak galls, abnormal plant growths that are produced by small oak gall wasps, produced a deep black dye used to make ink, while the bark yielded brown dyes and medicinal tonics. A decoction of boiled bark was traditionally used to treat harness sores on horses. Oak's usefulness extended into food and drink. Wine barrels are traditionally made from oak, where they shape the flavor, color, and aroma of sherry, whiskey, and wine itself. Cork oak produces the spongy bark used for traditional wine stoppers, while oak chips are still used to smoke fish, meat, and cheese. Acorns were once ground into flour or roasted to make a coffee substitute during times of scarcity. The dried bark of white oak was used medicinally for its astringent and antiseptic qualities, and oak appears frequently in medieval medical texts as a trusted remedy. Oak trees also became symbols of strength, stability, and endurance. The phrase mighty oak reflects more than admiration. These trees can withstand severe weather and live for centuries. Their sheer resilience made them natural emblems of power and protection. Many cultures believed oak carried healing properties, and druids in particular saw oak as a source of restorative energy. Burning oak wood was thought to offer protection from harm, a belief that still echoes in folk practices today. Oak symbolism extends into love and commitment as well. It is sometimes associated with the 80th wedding anniversary, representing a bond built slowly, strengthened over time, and capable of enduring storms. In folk belief, oak trees became gateways. In Celtic mythology, they were thought to act as portals to the fairy realm. Standing beneath an oak during a full moon was said to offer glimpses of the other world. Hollow oaks and ancient trees were believed to house fair folk, and the whispered phrase, "fairy folk are in old oaks," served as a warning. To cut such a tree was to invite misfortune. Carrying oak leaves was believed to ward off evil spirits, while planting an acorn promised good luck and prosperity. Knocking on oak wood for luck likely traces back to these older beliefs in oak's protective power. Some traditions claim that sleeping beneath an oak could bring prophetic dreams, visions shaped by the tree's association with wisdom and divine knowledge. Oak groves were gathering places for councils, scholars, and judges, spaces where disputes were settled and truths revealed. In this way, oak became not just a symbol of power, but of insight and discernment. Across myth, medicine, magic, and material life, oak stands as a living pillar between worlds. Its roots reach into the underworld, its trunk anchors the living world, and its branches stretch towards the sky. To ancient cultures, the oak did not simply grow in the landscape, it held it together. Even now, when an oak stands alone in a field or forest, there is a sense that it has always been there, watching, listening, and remembering.